All right, y'all. We had to redo something real quick, but don't worry, y'all never know. Y'all will never know.
It's an inside secret.
Yeah, it's an inside secret. What we're gonna talk about is how the employers
Treating their employees.
Now, at some jobs, you go in, you want to do your 8 hours, you want to leave. And at some particular jobs, when it's only just an 8-hour job, they want you to do you 15 hours. But then they only want to pay you for that 8. And they want to give you some shit that's called comp time. And I'm just bringing back from that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And
There's a place we used to work at.
comp time is not going to put a fucking a damn green pea on your table.
And if you don't know what comp time is actually...
It's compensatory time.
Yeah, compensatory time means you can take so many hours off in the future. Usually ain't much, because if you working 3 extra hours,
That ain't shit.
that ain't shit. I mean, I want to work another 8, because if I work another 8, I may not want to come to work somewhere down the line, or I might be not feeling 100 per se and just need a recharge. I can use that comp time for then. But comp time in a time when we were working there, times were really tough. We were a lot younger. You know, our kids were younger. So we really are not looking for comp time when we work overtime. We looking to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
You come and tell us that you're paying us, but then you backdoor us, or lie to us basically what you did, and tell us, no, we're gonna give y'all comp time because we don't have the money to pay you.
Right.
Well, if you didn't have the money to pay us, why did you have work overtime in the
why
first
you had
place?
to ask me to work overtime? And sitting here thinking now, I do have a way to talk about what we were going to talk about at first. Now, I was talking to a guy that I know that works at this place, and they have him working on appliances, stoves, ovens, steam tables, washer and dryers, garbage disposals, shit like that. And I've been knowing this guy for a long time. I said, say, man, if you're working on garbage disposals and shit like that, ain't you supposed to be a plumber? He looked at me, he goes, I ain't got no plumbing license. I said, okay. So he told me he works on boilers. I said, man, that deals with gas, right? Natural gas. He goes, yeah. I said, so what you do? He said, man, we break them apart, we put them together, we turn gas off, we turn gas on, we do gas leaks. If they got a gas leak in there, we got to go look for it. I'm like, but ain't you supposed to be licensed to do that shit?
Yep.
He goes, yeah, you would think you're supposed to be licensed, but I don't have a license. I'm like, well, damn. I said, suppose the facility blows up. What's going to happen? He didn't know. So I said, all right, what else you work on? They work on electrical sockets. They work on shit that electricity runs through. I said, man, but ain't you supposed to be a journeyman or at least a licensed electrician? He said, yeah, one would think that. I said, motherfucker, I know you for 30, 40 years. You ain't got no damn license. Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, damn, suppose somebody touch that shit and get electrocuted. What's going to happen to your ass?
And this same person that we know called me one day. He like, hey, man, I smell this shit that smell like demon in his kitchen. I'm like, you ain't supposed to spray that in no commercial school kitchen at all. You ain't supposed to spray that in a commercial kitchen, period. That is meant for houses. And I'm like, you might want to get the name of that. You might want to tell your boss and report that to the IPM coordinator, because that shit ain't gonna fly.
But what was so crazy was my boy, when he questioned about having licenses and yada, 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 he got reprimanded. They were finna fire the dude. I'm like, damn, they finna fire because you could potentially blow up this facility. You could potentially have a flood in here for fucking with the plumbing shit. Or you could electrocute somebody and you don't have an electrician's license. But you ain't never fucking with this shit. You
And
go,
then
yeah,
that's-
man, I do it daily.
Well, but as far as the demon is concerned, the reason why you can't use demon in there because the smell may linger longer than what we may anticipate it for.
He even told me an incident about that they sprayed demon. And when we say demon is a pesticide.
Yeah, it's an insecticide,
Insecticide.
it's meant for roach control. But on the label, you can control it like for termites, for like termites, ants, spiders, scorpions, things of that nature. You know, but it's not meant to be. I mean, you can, if I remember correctly, you can use it in the school, but you can't use it in a commercial kitchen. But then too,
But you shouldn't be
Y'all-
using it. You shouldn't be using it when people are in the building.
well, you're not supposed to.
Okay, we'll
but
see.
like y'all may have seen some of these earlier clips where you may hear me say this: is levels to this, or there's a process to everything.
Right.
Now, when you are in a school district per se, there is something called an IPM program, which is called Integrated Pest Management. What they want you to do is it's a lot of paperwork. It really is. But it's needed because you're dealing with kids. You're dealing with kids from ages of 3 all the way up to, I'm going to say 18, even though I've seen some 20-year-olds in some of these high schools.
Yeah, I have too.
But the point of what I'm getting to you, they want you to more focus first on trying to fix door strips along the door, seal up areas around the school that you can seal up. You want to be able.
Where little critters can't get inside.
The goal is to use limited pesticide. But if you do use a pesticide, they want you to use this stuff that's called green listed products, which is your eco stuff, like the eco PCO stuff. I'm not trying to give these people no brand rep or nothing like that. I'm just trying to educate y'all what we do in pest control and what's the proper way to do it and what's the proper way not to do it. And any of you pest control techs, if you want to challenge me, I'm that motherfucker that you can challenge. Y'all know me. I'm the #1 pest control person in the world. You can talk that smoke all you want. We can go. But now back to what I was saying. Yeah, I got to talk myself up. You don't like it? Fine. I don't care. But this is how that rolls in schools. If the school has an IPM coordinator, because every school's supposed to have one, depending on the school district. Now, some school districts may have one IPM coordinator or they may have multiple. And they are the ones that has to get the approval for the pest control person to actually spray something. And if the green list products, what I mentioned, not gonna mention no product names. I should have never done it in the first place, but so what, who cares? But if the green list products are not working, then there's something called a yellow list. But you have to get the approval from the IPM coordinator or some bullshit like that. And then that red list shit, you shouldn't be using that in no school at all. And that's where your orthines and all that bullshit come into play. So that's if a school is really having trouble like that. But that's where, like I said, paperwork is of the essence. You know, you're supposed to put notices on every door, you know, that we doing this, blah, 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 stay out for 12 hours. But that's generally the rule of thumb for the interval, 12 and 24. Those are most of the rules that you'll have, this, that, and the other.
And he just got total off a topic, but I was listening. I'm letting him flow.
But no, that's part of the school shit. But that coincides with the employer, because you may have a pest control company that a school district may use,
or anybody. Don't have to be a school.
or well, I'm just saying, in particular,
Right.
But I'm using schools because I have backgrounds in schools and in the commercial sector, and I'll get to the commercial sector also. But there's levels to the game.
Oh, for sure.
Most of the time, the IPM coordinator really don't know what they doing, you know, but some of them do, some of them don't. You know, and then a pest control person, their job is to eliminate. You just can't go into a school, no matter if it's private or public. You can't go into no school just trying to
Trying to spray shit.
trying to bring the big guns out.
Gotcha.
You can't do that. You have to follow the actual process. And a lot of pest control companies don't know how to do that. You know, back when all of this was starting, they were learning just like everybody else. But, you know, employers in the pest control, you know, they telling the techs like us, hey, just go in there and
Just
make
do-
sure,
just do it.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it don't work like that.
And you just do it, and you the one getting in trouble.
You
and
the
they-
one that get in
they
trouble.
They don't know shit about it. I got you. But back to, like I say, how employees treat their employers, or even how supervisors treat their employers. I ain't gonna say them how supervisors treat their employers because they don't have employers. They got people that's under them, sublings. My boy was telling me this story. Guy had been working out there for some years, and he had a team lead. And first incident they had, him and the team lead was riding, and the team lead said something derogatory about a younger female. And this female happened to be a child, on what he would do to this child. And my boy was like, I got a motherfucking daughter. I ain't gonna let you talk no shit about no kid like that. And wanted to pull over, and they wanted to have a confrontation. And the employer that was talking under his mouth about children shrugged it off and kind of put it on the other employer. So when it got back to the big people, they wanted to pick on the employee that was trying to defend the young lady. And to let y'all know, the guy that was trying to defend the young lady, this child, this kid, he was a black man. And the one that said he would do some dirty deeds to this child was a white cat. So they ended up having to separate them. And everything calmed down after that. Boom, 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 boom. Some time goes by, and there was another incident. They were at this little facility doing some work, trying to train somebody. And the guy that they was trying to train, and he was brand new, green, didn't know shit. And he made a bad mistake. So when the white guy came out there, he was pissed off because he had to come back out there. But the black guy came out there with him. So when the white guy was trying to tell the new guy on how to do this shit, he was telling him. He wasn't showing him how to do it. Evidently the guy's not a good teacher. And they got into it again. And the white guy, you want to take it outside? Nah, the black guy, I know him. He ain't all there, kind of on the crazy side. But he's a cool, righteous brother. And the trainee kind of got in between them, separated them, calmed the situation down. Okay, bloop, blop, blam, bloom. Some time go by again. The third incident, they in there working on a boiler, which nobody is actually supposed to be working on. From what I understand, nobody has license to work on this said boiler. But anyway, it was a training session with two other newbie guys, and they got into it because the white guy wasn't showing them how to do the shit. He was just preaching and trying to tell them how to do the shit. So when the black guy, say, hey man, there's a better way to do this. Why don't you get down there and show them how to do it? He said the same thing he had said before. You want to take this outside? So when the black guy was like, dude, this is the second, third time you told me this shit. Yeah, let's take this shit outside. Now the white guy gets scared. Because the brother's finna get in that ass. And you know how us brothers do when them white boys get to acting stupid and we fed up with them? Yeah, it was at that moment he realized he had fucked up. So the white boy wants to quit. So the brother's on his phone the whole entire time, like, man, I ain't worried about this shit. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Everybody comes out. The other trainee jumps up, starts knocking shit over, tearing shit up, runs off, runs into the corner. Motherfucker had lost his mind. We don't know. All right. So I asked my homeboy, I said, man, what the fuck happened? They sent the brother home. And then they asked the young, well, not the young, they asked the trainee guy, the other brother, they want to know what happened. So he tells them, hey, I'll give you a statement, but only if everybody is there that witnessed all of this, and there was only 3 people that witnessed the whole thing. And then 1 person from Human Resources, HR. The big suit and tie wearing motherfucker didn't want to have that. So what eventually ended up happening is the brother ended up getting fired. Not for what happened, transpired for him wanting to whoop the white boy's ass. They went way back on some shit from him missing days. And the missing days shit was fucked up because he had already called in on those days and got that time out. Now, did he fight it? No. Should he have fought it? If it was me, I would have fought the shit. I would have got me a good ass lawyer and I would have fought that shit. And it's a good 95 to 97% chance I would have won.
Yep. Oh, I know I would have fought it.
He didn't fight it. He didn't know. He was like, fuck it, I'm done. You know, they're gonna do what they want to do. And boom. So then they end up hiring another guy. My homeboy was like, yeah, the other guy, he came in, you know, he's a younger cat, came in and didn't know shit, but he had the mindset to do his own research and learn this shit on his own. Same white guy, started doing him the same kind of way. And they got into it several times. Now, my homeboy, he was with him, he witnessed this shit, and he was telling me, he said they was at a facility one day, and the youngster, which is another black guy, he's on the floor trying to work on this stove. It's hot as shit in there. No air, no wind blowing, no nothing. The guy that's supposed to be training you, showing you how to do this shit, is standing there. He got the parts in his hand. So the young dude that's on the floor, he says, hey man, can you give me that part? The guy that's supposed to be training him tells him, I need to know the name of the part that you're asking for. Now, I don't know if any of y'all ever been on the floor and you hot as shit, you sweating, it's going all down your ears, all down the crack of your ass, all in your nose, all in your eye, you can't see shit, it's burning, shit going in your mouth, and you can taste that saltiness. Y'all just, I thought somebody was gonna pass by, but no, never mind. So he asked for the part, and the dude was like, well, I'm not gonna give you the part. The young guy that was on the floor, first thing he said, if I get up off this floor, it's gonna be some trouble. Now, any of y'all that's ever been on the floor working, and the guy that's on the floor, he was a big guy. So if you're a big guy, you ever been on that damn floor, you know it's hard motherfucker getting down there. It's even harder getting your big ass up off the floor.
Well, one of my mechanic homies,
and it's hot.
Hey, he told me he got into it with one of his guys about that.
See that
they were fixing this. I think it was Trans Am, if I remember correctly.
Trans Am, damn. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was an old school car.
I'm gonna be quick with the end of the story. So when the big guy said, if I get up off this floor, it's gonna be some trouble. Trouble, trouble, trouble. The other guy that was standing there was like, hey man, he told the white guy, hey, you need to go. Cause if this dude get up off the floor, he gonna beat your ass. He don't give a fuck about going to jail. Go. So the white guy got out and he started goading him to come out to start a confrontation because he's trying to get him fired. So what it boils down to the end, the white guy reported to the main supervisor. The brother got in trouble about the shit. And the brother been getting in trouble every corner and turn that he goes to, and he's proving them all wrong. Because they keep saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to work on this. But when he fixes the shit, it's like, oh, the brother don't get no apology. All he does is get reprimands. How would you feel if that shit kept happening to you? Me personally, I'd fuck a motherfucker up. I'd want to cut their fucking throat. And I know earlier in the first couple of videos I said I don't do the violent shit, but shit like that pushes your fucking mental, and a black man can only take so much. before he ready to whoop somebody and stomp my motherfucker's ass.
Well, I'm gonna make you laugh real quick.
All right, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
All right.
But that's how employees treat their fucking people, though.
Yeah, this is when I had first went to a pest control company. They sent me to this building, and I've been going over there for about a year or no, about a couple of months. So I knew the staff that was there. There was a dude, his name is Big Tony. He's a big old dude. And, you know, he real cool. I used to call him Snuffleupagus. He like, hey, bro.
Not Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, nah, but he was cool. So, you know, he didn't care if I messed with him. So this one day, they arguing, right? I ain't thinking nothing of it. So Tony was under this Trans Am, and he was, I forgot what he was doing. He was, because they had the car jacked up like that. So I think he was changing some brakes or some bullshit, but he was under there doing something around that rack and pinion bullshit. So Big Tony, he was already heated about some. So he like, Jay, that's you? And I'm like, yeah, what's up, bro? Hey, slide me that wrench over there. So I kick it over there to him. So he like, hey man, that old sorry motherfucker that's sitting in that office, I've been calling on him for 10 minutes. I said, all right, but let me go get him. I said, nah, don't worry about it, dog. I deal with him after I finish this.
Yeah.
I said, all right, bro, well, I'm finish up, you know, I'll get him to sign it. You down here doing this. Now, fuck that, I'll sign it. You know, you got time? I got all the time in the world. Y'all my last stop of the day. So I go to my truck and I'm hitting, you know, filling out everything. I hear all this commotion.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah, that squabble.
no, I'm gonna get to that. I'm like, what the fuck wrong with them in there? So I feel I'm stuck, you know, old sunny day in Houston, you know, chug my little Gatorade real quick, and I walk in there, old boy on the floor, Big Tony standing over.
He knocked his ass out.
So I'm like, oh shit. I said, Tony, can you sign my paperwork, bro?
Please.
Oh, I got you, dog.
Yeah.
Then he signed it. He's like, hey, you didn't see nothing. I said,
I ain't seen shit.
absolutely not. So
Shit.
I burn off. I go back over there next month. Big Tony gone. So I said, hey, where's Big Tony? Oh man, you ain't know? I'm like, no, what? We got rid of him. I go, oh, all right. So Big Tony had my number.
Yeah.
He found out I was there. And he called me and told me what was up. And I was like, hey man, you know, Big Tony, you know, me and you cool, right? He like, yeah, Jay, we cool. I told him, look, you can't be doing that, man. I understand that you upset. And believe me, I know how you feel. There have been some instances where I'm not gonna say who I was with. I'm driving down this street one day
Oh, Lord.
in Northeast Houston, which is my hood. And I think that I'm a pretty easy person to get along with.
We gonna pass on that story. We don't want to hear that one.
No. I'm gonna tell this one because people need to know how stupid some people can be. Now, my employer at the time, they were some true life assholes. And they are calling me to come back to do something. And I'm like, you know, I really don't feel like this, but you know, y'all think y'all know best in my field, so okay. So I'm going down this road and I see these two people. They clearly want to cross the road. So I slow down, I let them go by. At least that's what I was thinking. So the young lady, she walks by. The dude, he decides he wants to stay there and have an old-fashioned stare down.
You want to mean mug you?
Yeah, that. So, my dumb ass decided to stop in the middle of the road. I'm getting ready to get out, and I have weapons all over my truck that are very useful. There was somebody that I love dearly that was with me, and
Well, you know what you can say, because that place ain't even open no more.
Nah, I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, all right. We're gonna let that one slide this time.
Well, I think the Lord was there.
When we have an episode on public violence, then we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But The good Lord saved him that day. And probably me too, because y'all wouldn't probably be talking to me right now.
Probably not. Probably not. But you know what though? As far as employees go,
But it's everywhere though.
it is.
Yeah, cause
It's just how employees do their people. And when I say employees, I mean, like I say, supervisors, under subordinates, hell, team leads. Some of them don't even have fucking hearts and shit no more.
well, it's those, some
Well-
of those dumbass managers though.
Well, it's like I used to work for, and I'm gonna say this company. I used to work for a company called Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity was started by one of the best presidents we've had in a long time, Mr. Jimmy Carter. And he started it for a reason, to help people. And I worked there maybe probably about a year. Now, don't get it wrong. The place was cool to work for. But what we were doing, we would go to, people would donate shit. Couches, tables, TVs, fans. You know, anything that went in your house, it would go. And some of these big companies would like donate like pallets of tile and shit like that. So what it is, it's all a tax write-off. So we would go pick this shit up, bring it back to the store, and the store would sell it for like a ridiculously low amount. I mean, you would get damn near brand new refrigerators for like $150
Or lower.
or lower. And when I say brand new, some of this shit would be like a month or two old.
May
Nah.
have a little scratch on it.
No, some of this shit didn't have. We went to Cinco Ranch, Indian lady. She had a brand new Samsung digital refrigerator. Wasn't shit wrong with that refrigerator. I said, ma'am, if you don't mind me asking, what's wrong with the refrigerator? You know what she told me?
She didn't like it.
I don't like the color. I looked at her, I said, well, damn. She said, oh, my husband, I got a brand new one coming now. I looked at her, I said, oh, shit. Hey,
Your world.
not my point, not my place to judge. But
But
when
you gotta look at it like this though. At least he had it in the kindness of her heart to donate it. I mean,
fuck that shit. We went to this lady's house. And this fall back on the video we did a long time ago about privilege shit. Went to this lady's house. And me and the other guy that was with me, my helper, we walk in. First thing the lady says, I need you to take your shoes off. Now, we picking heavy shit up. The shit fall on my toe and I ain't got no steel toe on. I just lost a toe or some expendages.
or maybe a foot.
So I tell her, I said, man, we can't do that. So I call in to the dispatch. And I say, hey, don't worry about that. I say, hey, they want us to take our shoes off. They immediately stopped and said, no, we can't do that. And I mean, I kind of asked her why she wanted us to take her shoes off. I mean, some people understand you got white carpet. Cool. Now, if I'm picking up a chair, all right, no, ain't no problem. I'll take my shoes off, slide across your white carpet, take the chair, take it back, sit outside, and then put my shoes back on. But if I'm picking up a dresser, nah.
Now we ain't doing that.
That's not gonna happen. But, and she did have a legitimate reason. She said that her son has allergies. But if your allergies is that fucking bad, your ass need to be in a bubble. You don't need to be sitting upstairs playing video games. Now, like I said, I was a driver. And it was some places that we would go to that they wouldn't have any help. Some of this shit weighed 500 pounds. And they want you to pick the shit up. And when you tell them, no, I can't pick it up, they would call in on you. And you can get a phone call or you can get a beat. Hey, why you couldn't pick that stuff up? Well, motherfucker, it's 500 pounds. I'm by my goddamn self. They would reprimand you when you got back to the shop. And you like, are you serious? Yeah, dead serious. So that's one of the reasons why I left there and went to where I am now. But there's been other jobs I've worked at to where I used to work for Walgreens. Walgreens is owned by the Jews. Don't get me wrong, I ain't got shit against the Jews. My mother was Jewish. Her mama was Jewish. So I got some Jew in me somewhere. But I worked at Walgreens, and them motherfuckers don't never close. They open 365 days
A year. Most of them.
No, all of them. Ain't no most of them, it's all of them.
Nah, it's most of them, because one down by my house, that mother closed at 12 o'clock.
Oh no, closed. I'm talking about, but they open for holidays, open on Christmas, all that shit.
Oh, yeah, nah, as far as that, yeah.
But I got into it.
I thought you meant 24 hours, my bad.
Oh, no. Just open, period.
Yeah.
I got into it with a manager one day. And when I say get into it, y'all peep this story out. His name was Mr. Hudson. Yo punk bitch ass, if you ever see this motherfucking video. You big, fat, white, strawberry white motherfucker. One of my coworkers, he was fucking around with one of the girls that worked up there.
Hey, nah, don't beat him up, though.
Oh, no, I ain't gonna, no. I'm too old to fight. But one of my coworkers was fucking around with one of the girls that worked in the pharmacy. And he was trying to holler at the same shit. He thought that he could get her. And didn't get her. So, Mr. Hudson, he was fucking with my homeboy, which had been another brother now. Fucking with him. So, they was all sports fanatics and shit. So something happened and the game went bad, and Mr. Hudson ended up sending my coworker home. So when I get there, Mr. Hudson's already in a bad, foul mood, right? So when I get there, they in there talking and shit. Well, not my coworker, but Mr. Hudson and some other people, they all in there talking. So I go back there, they watching TV and shit. So Mr. Hudson say some sly shit. So I say some sly shit back. I'm like, if you act like a pussy, you gonna get fucked. He looked up at me.
God damn, dog. That's what you told?
Yeah, that's exactly what I told him. I said, you act like a pussy, you gonna get fucked.
Oh, shit.
So he looked up at me and said, So he got up. That punk motherfucker went and called the home office and said that I threatened him. They pulled me in the office upstairs. They had the biggest dude that worked there up there. And they fired me. And I'm like, I looked at the big dude, I was like, really? I was like, what the fuck you gonna do? Now, true enough, I was back in my 20s back then. I was well fit. And I used to pack some box cutter all the time. And I'm like, man, I will fuck you up with this box. But you know what? Let me get up out of here. Cause I know how you white boys are. Y'all can call the cops and shit. So I left, right? And
hey, calm down, dog. We don't want you to break out the box cutter.
No, I ain't gonna revert. I ain't gonna revert back.
All right, I'm gonna stop.
I got shit better than the box cutter now, motherfuckers. I'll pack one of these motherfuckers. But anyway, we're gonna put that over there. No violence. No
because I don't want you to cut my leg. I already got cut once this week.
No violence. No violence.
I don't need to be cut again.
But anyway, I called up there a couple of days later because he told me, he said, man, it's your right to appeal this shit. So I called back up there and talked to the manager, which was another white boy. And he was one of them good old white boys with that red neck and shit. I called up there. He said, well, yeah, come on up here. All right, cool. I'm thinking, all right, well, shit, I might have a chance to get my job back, you know, because I was still in college and shit. So I get back up there. Well, Mr. Hudson told me that you threatened him. I said, how the hell is, what I said is, how is that a threat? All I said was, if you act like a pussy, you're going to get fucked. Now, did I tell him I was going to fuck him? No. Did I tell him I was going to whoop his ass? No. Did I tell him I was going to touch him? No. But he was that fucking paranoid about the shit. So the manager, he was like, well, I'm going to stand by my manager. I said, well, you know what? Fuck you too. I got my ass up and I left. Well, but to make the moral story short is, the Walgreens ended up closing down and all the motherfuckers lost their jobs.
Well, you better be glad you didn't work at Compaq.
Well, no. I worked for Pepsi Cola, and my area was fucking Pasadena, LaPorte, Deer Park. Now, back in the early 80s.
Oh, you was in a good old boy area.
What was the motherfucking country white boy? Gillies. Gillies was still up and running. When that motherfucker burned down, I passed by that bitch clapping. You country redneck motherfucker. I remember I had to go to Pasadena. I worked in We'll cut that story short off. I worked for a company called STP, Southern Transport Parts, right there on Wallaceville Road. They had me in Pasadena, Deer Park, Pearland, all the motherfucking white folks neighborhood. And don't get me wrong, I ain't racist in no motherfucking little bit at all. But I know how white people are.
But it's before what y'all know those areas are today.
Today, today they didn't change. Now it's predominantly Hispanic out there now. But I was out there in Pasadena. We call it Stankadena.
Or Get Down Dina.
I was on Starberry Avenue at this trucking company. The day the OJ trial came in. I went out there, I picked up all the old parts that I needed.
Well, that was in the 90s. I remember that one.
I put them on the back of my truck and I go in there to get my ticket signed. First thing that white boy, old redneck chicken shit Hockenberry white boy. First thing he tell me is, shh, they were watching the trial. The verdict was coming in. And I will never forget this till the day I die. I stood there with my little slip in my hand. And I'm watching this shit. And I'm like, oh, here we go. When that motherfucker said not guilty, that white boy looked up at me like this. And all I saw was, I don't use this word I hadn't used this word in about 20 years now. He said, that ninja, and when I say ninja, I mean the other word. He said, give me your paper. He snatched the motherfucking paper out of my hand. He did like that. He threw it back at me.
I don't mean me laughing, dog, but...
No, it was funny to me because OJ had killed that white bitch and got away with it. So I'm like, yeah, and I'm in Pasadena around all these white motherfuckers, and ain't shit they can do about it.
Oh, shit.
So he threw the paper up at me, it fell and hit the floor. I looked at it, he looked at it. He said, that your paper? I said, I ain't picking that shit up. I said, you can hand it to me and I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I say it. He was finna say boy. If that motherfucker would have said boy, like he said earlier, I wouldn't be sitting here with y'all now talking about this video. Cause I would have cut that motherfucker's throat
from head to toe.
Like it ain't shit.
Like Zorro.
I did my arms like this. I said, well, I guess that motherfucker gonna stay there then. I turned around to leave. He said, here you go. He reached out, picked the motherfucking paper up. He said, here you go. I got it. I said, thank you, sir. He looked at me. Yeah, keep mumbling all you motherfucking want to. But you better not say that motherfucking word that's in your fucking head. I got in my truck. I called dispatch. I said, hey, man, I need to come back because OJ just got found out to be not guilty.
And you can't be seen in Pasadena the rest of the day.
So they called me and told me, yeah, come on in. I came on in. I come on home. I was still staying with my parents in them back in them days. I made it onto the house, and I ended up leaving the job maybe about 6 months later because the woman that owned the company, she let her husband come in to run the shit, and he changed everything. It was like they used to have a taco truck that would come in. There were taco trucks before it was even taco truck was a thing.
Yeah.
And the drivers would run out there and get tacos because it was hard for us to stop and get food because we was always on the run.
Yeah.
So, you run in there, get your 4 or 5 tacos, and that was your breakfast and lunch for the whole day.
Uh-huh.
He stopped us from doing that. But everybody else in the place could run out there and still get tacos. It was only the drivers that couldn't do it.
Really?
How many drivers he had? 5. How many of them was black? 4. That one white boy that was the other driver, he could go out there and get his tacos anytime he wanted to. And the straw that broke the camel's back was the one white guy that we had out there. He had the Conroe, cut and shoot.
Yeah, all the areas
of
the sundown towns. That's what they
called them.
What they used to call them back then.
So I was the second most experienced driver, so they sent me out there.
Oh shit!
Now, I had never been out there before, so I didn't know. I was straight up naive about the shit. So I get in the truck and I got this whole truckload of brake springs, drums and
you
shit.
Didn't go 105 by chance, did you?
Yeah, I go driving down 45 and I hit 105 and I go through the town.
And he go east.
And I see the sign stretched across the
It's
freeway.
stretched across the highway.
But you don't see it until you pass it, until you coming back. So, boom, I get to the little shop and I'm unloading shit and everybody's
God
looking
damn.
at me. They like, where's the other guy? I'm like, well, he called in sick today and they sent me out here. And there was this elderly white lady out there. I don't know if she was concerned for me or what. But she said, you know where you at, sir? I said, yeah, I'm in Conroe. She said, no, baby. She said, it's 5:30.
Time for you to go, bro.
Yeah, she said,
God damn.
you might want to head on back to Houston. No, I said, oh, I still got 2 more stops, and they like 10, 20 minutes up the road. She said, no, baby. You need you need to go back to Houston. So I called dispatch, and they was like, hey, man,
The fuck was that?
you almost done? And I'm like, well, I got 2 more stops. The one brother that had done that run before, he called me. That's when cell phones that first come out, and he was the only one that had my cell phone.
God damn.
He called me. He said, man, he said, Doc. He said, man, where you at? I said, man, I'm still out here in Conroe. He said, man, brother, you need to bring your ass on back. And I was like, man, what the fuck is everybody keep telling me to come on back? So I get in the truck and I'm heading back up 45 South. I saw the sign. The sign read, don't let the sundown catch your black ass in town. I said, oh shit.
Hey, and this is not a lie. This is the actual truth.
I get on the CB radio. Of course, I ain't getting no signal. I'm like, oh, fuck. Whoa. I'm in a little Mazda B2000 pickup truck. Whoa.
And it can't go fast enough.
And I'm stripping gears. That motherfucker, I'm dropping brake pad. Man. When I got to where I could call their ass, I told them, I am never going to do this run again.
Okay, hold on.
But we're gonna pause real quick. We gotta do a commercial break. All right, we back, y'all. But yeah, man, you know that's what upsets me about jobs. I'm gonna say most of them. The supervisors, they don't take care of
The employee.
the regular guys that hang up under them. And it's like I say, it's like the new guy. He gets no love, does what he needs to do, come in early, stay late, nobody says thank you. And that's what it's all about. Just get some recognition about this shit. Now me personally, I don't give a fuck if you recognize me or not, just pay me. Make sure I get my motherfucking money. But we're getting ready to close this session up because we're gonna try and do one more episode before it gets too late.
We gonna try.
To all you bosses out there, supervisors, whatnot, man, take care of you. If you take care of your employees or you take care of your subordinates, they're gonna take care of you. Because when I was a supervisor, I took care of my people. It wasn't shit they wouldn't do for me. They would stay late. They would work overnight. They would work for 2 or 3 days, back to back to back. T, if you out there, if you see this,
What's up, gal?
Tucker, if you out there,
What up, dog?
if you see this, hey man, I never told y'all, or I didn't tell y'all enough. I did tell y'all, but I don't think I told y'all enough. I really did appreciate everything that y'all did. But
You can get one of your custodians, though. Shalisa. She did a good job.
true.
On that note,
Yeah.
y'all have a wonderful evening. Catch the next episode. But before we go, you make sure you like,
Subscribe and hit that
comment.
bell.
And of course, hit that bell.
All right, we're gonna catch y'all on the next one. Hey. Oh shit.